In January, we did my annual 31 Days to a More Effective Compliance program where we looked at one thing you could do each day. Well, we're back with the Compliance Tip of the Day. This is the podcast where we bring you daily insights and practical advice on navigating the ever-evolving landscape of compliance requirements. Whether you're a seasoned compliance professional or just starting your journey, my aim in this podcast is to provide you with a bite-sized, actionable tip to help you stay on top of your compliance game. In the chaotic world of 2025 and beyond, compliance will become even more important, and you staying on top of your game will help your company move forward. In this episode, we look at how United Airlines ran afoul of the FCPA inside the United States for violation of an internal control. In 2016, we had one of the most interesting non-international FCPA enforcement actions ever, which involved a clear quid pro quo benefit paid out by United Airlines to an individual who was the chairman of the board of directors at the time of the Port Authority of New York and New Jersey, the public government entity which has authority over, among other things, United Airlines operations at its huge East Coast hub in Newark. The reason that it was so interesting from an enforcement perspective is that it was not a foreign corruption, but a domestic corruption case, and therefore not subject to the foreign government official requirement of the FCPA. However, the actions of the former CEO of United in personally approving a benefit granted to the aforesaid chairperson violated the company's internal controls around gifts to government officials. This sounds suspiciously like a books and records violation of the FCPA, and there was a $2.4 million civil penalty leveled on United, and the DOJ added a penalty of $2.25 million. The former chairman of the Port Authority pled guilty. What was the gift? Well, they put in a flight from Newark to near the chairman's vacation cabin in South Carolina. Why did this violate the FCPA? Well, it was clearly a bribe, no question there, because United had looked at the issue of the viability of the route, and it was determined to be non-viable for the company. But the board of directors, the company had an internal control which said that only boards of directors of United could provide a benefit or pay a gratuity to a government official. So even though this so-called chairman's flight was considered to be a money loser, they went ahead and put it in at the order of the president. Mike Volkov has often worried that if companies create internal controls and then do not follow them, they will be prosecuted for such action or perhaps such inaction. This is certainly the situation which led to the SEC enforcement action. The company had a code of conduct, and it's clear to see that this code of conduct was violated at least around this chairman's flight for the benefit of the government official. The company was also sanctioned for not having internal controls in place to prevent such actions as those taken by the United president, with the SEC finding of a violation. This was in the face of detailing protocol for United instituting or reinstituting a route. So there was clearly all of this in place. All of these underlying facts and enforcement theories and remediation point toward the failure of internal controls around domestic corruption as well. So what are today's three key takeaways? Number one, it's very unusual for the FCPA to form the basis of a domestic bribery violation. Number two, always remember that your code of conduct can be an internal control. And three, perhaps the biggest takeaway is, yes, even the CEO must follow internal controls. One of the things that I'm happy to do for you, the compliance profession, is if you have a question or a series of questions you would like some compliance tips on, I'm happy to take any requests that you might want, certainly anonymize them, and give you a quick tip. Either one quick tip or maybe a week's worth of quick tips. So if you have any tips you want about your compliance program, you can shoot me an email at tfox@tfoxlaw.com. This podcast was created and produced with the assistance of AI.